How fitting. So for one of the most frustrating games of my life, I've actually recorded this like 2 or 3 times, and I forgot to turn on the mic. So let's see if I can do it this time. So in this game, it's like I said, this is one of the most frustrating games I've ever played, and this video's purpose is gonna be to try to answer most people's questions about consistency. So one of the most common questions I get on my channel is, how are Unicums so consistent? So in this game, I'm gonna show you that we really aren't. Like, what you're gonna find is that we have bad games all the fucking time, and this is gonna be an example. It's quite the extreme example, but this is literally one of the worst games I feel like I've ever played. And so I guess I'm gonna share that with you against my better judgment. So what you're gonna see me doing, we're on what's this called, Arctic region, standard game. I love to go south in this tank, or most mediums on this map, because you can shoot at heavies. You're gonna see I try to put a shot into a T-34. This is sort of the beginning of the bad. So I try to put a shot into a T-34. I've got heat loaded. That's because I expect to shoot at the IS-7 or E100, and the STRV shoots me. Now, I just plain didn't expect it. It's reasonable that he did hit me, but the T-34 basically snapshotted me on the move, and he sort of high-rolled me, but realistically, it's not that big of a deal. So that's like the beginning of the bad, like I said. What you're going to notice right now is because of the T-30's position, I wasn't able to cross into where I wanted to, so I like to play the opposite of where this IS-7 is, and I'll play hull down and I'll shoot heavies. But you're gonna see the T-30 sort of denying me that position, and this IS-7 is gonna be hull down, and he can sort of poke on me whenever he wants. Now, I've got some teammates you're gonna notice, considering how aggressive I am, they're playing pretty passively, like given the situation, so that's sort of frustrating me. I have no support effectively, and there's that. Right now, I'm not getting proxy spotted by the IS-7. You're going to notice eventually I'm going to take advantage of this and try to cross. I'm not lit right now, and that's something to note, because you're going to see I am going to try to cross, and I'm going to do it when these two tanks right here aren't really looking at me. So you can see I'm preparing for that. I'm sort of on the fence about it. I'm not lit right now. I get hit by the fucking T-30, and then I get lit. So he actually hit me before 6 cents went off. And now I'm down to 400 hit points. I've got 408 damage and 400 hit points. I rammed the 113. Obviously, I apologize in chat, but realistically, I'm like seething inside right now, because this is the 99th game out of a 100 game tryhard session that I was trying to do in the patent. So there's that. Right here, you're going to see I'm just trying to stay safe. Prior to this session, I've been getting clicked like all day, so I don't want to get clicked again, and I want to try to make this game into like at least my hit points and damage. I'm not actually going to make that happen, but there's that. Right here, we bounce heat off a tier 8 heavy tank because I'm a great player, stunning aim, and you're going to notice the fucking IS-7 ignores a full HP mouse and starts driving around the corner to fucking YOLO the Unicum. So he's even going to ignore this Yag Tiger. I just want to put this into perspective. Luckily, he gets shot. The Yag Tiger misses. He's not shooting the Yag Tiger. He's going for Mr. Purple in his patent. So I don't know why he took that engagement when he was a one-shot. Like, if he knows, like, obviously he's YOLOing me, so he knows my stats. But he decided to do that. Anyways, that sort of added to my tilt, because I fucking hate getting YOLO'd. But yeah, you're gonna see right here, it's just gonna be slow playing. Again, I'm trying to take my advice right here. When you have a shit game, you just need to live all game, because if you don't, you're cutting out. Like, if you die, you can't do any more damage. So you're gonna see I'm just trying to be as patient as I can, even though I'm really pissed off. Right there, it looks like I bounce a heat shell off the lower plate of the STRV. Don't ask me why. What happened is it probably hit his like the grill, but there's that. Right there, I bounce heat off the side of a T-30. If that was APCR, that would have penned. So furthering my frustration, you're gonna see I'm gonna go for another shot. That I had no chance of penning. I was hoping if I could track him, I might get some assisted if he got clicked or something like that. Right here, we're going to play this side. You're going to see this is probably the most lucky part of this game that I have. Put a shot into the pattern. That pens, it low rolls, but it pens, which is really significant for me. I can take a hit from this low, so I'm going to try to like bounce his shots or whatever. He bounces, which is semi-luck, partly because I didn't show my whole tank to him. And we're going to take advantage of his reload and start pushing towards him. So from this position, this is really strong, especially in a Russian medium. When I 3-marked my 62A, it was actually on the same map, and I was where the mouse was because the gun depression didn't allow for my specific position to work. But, you know, this can be a really strong position, and it's very common for it to work. What you're going to notice is literally the most frustrating 18 shots of my fucking life. So we're shooting at this Yag Tiger, obviously. The pattern with my setup has 0.32 accuracy, so you're just gonna watch like 17 shots miss right here. Right now we're done 700 damage and we've still got 400 hit points. Again, my goal is to try to get like 3k out of this. I don't make that goal, but you know, I have a habit of putting goals too high. I think earlier on in the video I said it was 2k. Really, when I was playing this game I wanted 3k, but my mistake. Alright, so right here we're taking shots at this Yag Tiger. You're going to notice I'm doing it cautiously. 400 hit points, they've got an SDRV at J4 or whatever. I don't want him to spot me with binocs, so I'm playing this really carefully. I'm going for the cheek on the Yag Tiger. I was really lucky these couple shots even hit him at all, but you're just going to see what happens. So I'm putting shots towards this Yag Tiger. He gets sort of lucky with his timing there. Maybe I shot badly, but in my opinion, he was a bit lucky with his timing. I was lucky it hit those, so there's that. I put shots into him. I managed to pen that, so I guess it isn't as bad as I've been saying, but I promise it gets worse. So you can see, again, I've done 1,000 damage. For someone with 3,800 damage per game in this tank, that's pretty fucking bad. I get spotted here. I don't want to get clicked. You're going to notice this is a pretty stressful situation because I'm right next to a mouse. And what loves mice? Artie. And what's the most inaccurate tank in the game? Artie. So if Artie takes a shot and misses that mouse, guess who's going to die from it? So in this position, I'm like really worried. It sort of has me on edge right here. Take a shot at the Yag Tiger, it misses. Take a shot at the 268, it misses. Mouse is starting to fall back. I don't want to get clicked, so I'm going to have to like... You're going to see this was too risky. I shouldn't have stayed here. He grinds my tank, understandable, but eventually I'm just going to try to stay as far away as I possibly can. Fuck. Take a shot at the Yag Tiger, it bounces. We didn't even scratch them. I've got 11 heat shells left. I started with 30. You can see I'm absolutely stunning at aiming. This game is pure skill. Bounce the Yag Tiger again. He's in a good position, but this tank has 0.32 accuracy, and normally if you take 30 shots, you're going to pen like a third of them. So you're just going to watch me miss like all of these. I'm loading APCR because I'm sort of tired of shooting heat. The thing is I've only got 9 left, and this game's relatively close. So eventually what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to try saving my heat because I might need it for another tank like a 268 or something, which I have trouble penning. You're going to see I loaded HE because I was missing so much, and that HE shell misses. It's pretty fucking frustrating. I'm gonna fast forward this because I feel the fucking second HE misses. Realistically, I feel like this is just gay to watch, but you know, it is what it is. I've got the APCR loaded. I'm waiting for the 50B to poke. He doesn't end up poking. I get hit by the E50M. Luckily, he didn't high roll me there. So I guess that's a second thing. 50% of the time, he probably would have killed me. He didn't kill me though, so I'm happy. I take another shot that misses. I'm down to 8 heat shells. I take another shot that hits the rock. And just fucking watch. I don't really know how to commentate over this, but I think the video speaks for itself. The shots aren't even going where I'm trying to put them, and this thing has 0.32 accuracy. That's like German accuracy right here, so there's that. Luckily, the last 2 shots hit. They're at the same angle that the Yag Tiger is at, so I hit him. Now he's a 1-shot, and I do get the second shot, but it took me 29 heat shells to kill that guy, so by this point in time, I was really like tilt. And I've only done 1,800 damage. So some background information. I don't know if I've already gone over this in the video, but this was my 99th game out of the 100 DPG like session that I was trying to do. And so realistically, I wanted my average at least for this battle, and it dropped my average DPG by like 10 points. But you're gonna see right here, we're just looking for shots on people. Again, this isn't really spectacular gameplay or anything. Waiting for the 50B to poke. You're gonna see he wants to clip out the side of this E3, but I'm here to try to suppress that. Miss another couple shots in this Artie. You can see I take 3 shots. 0.32 accuracy, absolutely doing its thing. Should probably just be driving a Russian tank or whatever, but you know, this kind of thing happens to Unicums all the time. Maybe not this bad, but you know, you get clicked, you lose all your hit points and stuff like that, or a fucking STRV just camps base and fucking kills you. He has 1 more. Anyways, I don't feel like this replay was super special, but I feel like it illustrates a point. A lot of people get really frustrated when they see like Unicum do 7k damage on the YouTube videos or whatnot. But the reality is we get bad games too. It's sort of how you mitigate bad games is by getting really good games, and you sort of can't. There's a mental game to it too. So let's go look at the end plates. We can see how many credits I lost, and we'll go from there. Holy fuck, I'm so bad. As you can see, 1900 damage, 3 kills. Absolutely spectacular game on my part. Barely did my hit points. Lost 135,000 credits, literally made 37k. Like, not a good game. We ended up firing 38 shells, 20 of them hit, and 7 of them penned, and that gave us the 1900 damage result. So, I realize, like, this isn't a spectacular game, but the whole point of this is to show, like, even players, if you want to look up my Watt Lab, by the way, this is the name, 7 underscores. You know, it happens all the time. You can see the session I played yesterday totally shit on my 7-day. This was like 4k almost. Well, no, it was like 4,400, but you know, bad sessions happen, particularly on weekends. And this game, you know, is just an addition to all the bad games. You just have to live with it. You have to stop when bad games are happening, and obviously it's a skill. It takes a lot of self-control to like have a bad game and end it. What the fuck? Oh my god. Holy shit. This, you can see these stats don't even include. No, they must, because I played yesterday. Okay, so my battles in the pattern haven't updated yet, but bad sessions just, they do happen all the time. You can't really let it phase you. You can see in the end I did 3850 damage per game for my 100 game session. Didn't even 3-mark the pattern. So you know, it's just one of those things. The problem occurs like when you have a bad game, what really hurts consistency and what really hurts your stats is when you let the results affect your next game. So it takes like mental strength, which I don't have, to sort of put those results behind you and say, all right, next game I'm just gonna be, you know, forget my shitty 2k damage and you know, try to do better. Because what happens is if you let that 2k damage game, or maybe for other people it's getting one shot by Artie and doing 0 damage, if you let that affect your next game and your next game, and it just sort of becomes a feedback cycle where you get a shitty game that makes your next game even worse, and it just sort of keeps getting worse and worse and worse. So there's a lot of there's a skill that people don't talk about in World of Tanks, and that's going to be like being able to put things behind you. I think it's really important. Like, bad games happen. The difference between a good player and a bad player is they understand that they happen, and they try not to let it affect their next game. And if they are in that mood where like you get a 500 damage game, and then your next game you get a 300, and then the next a 700, and if that just consistently happens, a good player will just stop. And this is something I have trouble with. Like, everyone has trouble with it, but you're going to notice the best results if you're just patient and you try. You know, if something isn't working out, don't keep banging your head against the wall. So hopefully this video was helpful. I realize it wasn't like you know, a great result or anything, but I feel like some people may have needed to like see me do shittily on a YouTube video, because the reality is a lot of these games are semi-hand-picked. I hand-picked them because I feel normally when I make a video, I decide on what replays to use because I feel like that is how a map plays. So on the Himmelsdorf game, you know, for example, I chose that game because to me that's really common. So instead of hand-picking a game, I basically hand-picked a shitty game, and just to sort of demonstrate my point. Like, this kind of thing happens often. The difference between a good and a bad player is a good player realizes this happens, and he just sort of goes on with life. Like, it's not the end of the world that he had a game where he didn't do his hit points and damage. So thanks for watching. I hope this video was helpful. If you want to see more, be sure to hit the like and the subscribe button, and I hope to see you around. Later, guys. Bye-bye.